guys, please, let's give a warm welcome to Danny. This guy's about to really, really knock your socks off because the amount of value that he's going to bring right now, deal breakdowns. And he's going to talk about subject twos and mobile homes. It's totally possible too, guys. All right? So, Danny.
Yep. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to Tyler and Eddie here. That was a extremely nice introduction, so thank you. I'm not going to vomit on anyone except for Dan. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys for having me up. So just so I can kind of get a gauge from all you guys, who here has done a mobile home deal? Just raise your hand. Mobile homes on owned land. Anybody? You have? You have? Okay. And then anyone doing, who has not done a deal here? Okay. Who's doing like 1 to 3 deals a month right now? 5+ deals a month? Okay, cool. And I'm gonna use my phone here with some of my notes, so just excuse me. So the biggest thing with these mobile homes, and what people think of a mobile home, you know, you're thinking of a trailer park where you don't actually own the land. So what I specialize in is mobile homes on owned land. So these are mobile homes with no HOA on owned land, and there's no other type of restriction to the community or lot lease or anything like that. So these are actually real property. And I want to write a couple things down for you guys so you can take some notes too. Mobile home. So a mobile home itself is just going to be personal property. So that's when you don't own the land. You're probably on like a small micro lot, maybe 1,000 to 3,000 square feet or something like that. You are paying a monthly fee for your land. So this is what you want to stay away from. And this is essentially, when a mobile home is personal property, it's essentially a car. And we don't want to flip a car. We don't want to go through the DMV. We want to do everything because, like, you know, you guys are all wholesalers here, so we want to work with our, you know, wherever the guys at Pioneer Title, you want to work with your title officer, your people, and plug it into your system. So you don't want to purchase the mobile homes that are personal property. So anything where you see leased land or the land is not owned, those are the mobile homes that we don't want to purchase because, you know, I don't want to be purchasing a car. So if I was purchasing a car, I'd have to go to the DMV, I have to title it in my name. There's no way for me to actually flip the contract or assign it or anything like that. Any questions on mobile homes themselves on personal property?
So just to give you a little insight, they're not all wholesalers here. We do have
Okay.
lenders, we do have fix and flippers, we do have land developers, we have patent land developers. So we do have a lot of people that are, like, who here has not wholesaled the deal here before? Raise your hand. There's a good amount of people, right? So he's going to break down a strategy, like when we talk about navigating through this, it's just hold on to your shoes, guys. This is crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
Question. So for like the mobile homes, I ran into one issue because I tried to buy one, but
Okay.
didn't have I think an affidavit of a fixture, but it was on its own property.
Right.
And I didn't know how to get them to get that through. Is that like a problem or an issue to run into?
Yeah, I mean, when it's not affixed and it's on the owned land, you're going to want to request a copy of the title. So I'm going to go over the affixture process, but you can have them apply for what's called a duplicate title. And then if they can't find the title or the person they bought it from is MIA and doesn't have the title, you're going to have to go through a bonded title process, which a bonded title process is a pain in the ass. It's like a quiet title for a car pretty much, which is you're going back and serving notices, sending out certified mail to all the previous owners and being like, hey, I'm going to go and get this title clean. Does anyone have a claim or is anyone owed any money? And then you serve all them, and then you get a bonded title. That's if they can't find the duplicate title, if that makes sense. So step number 2, so how do we actually, I'm telling you guys to stay away from these mobile homes, these cars pretty much. And like we were stating here, how do you actually go from changing it to personal property to actually real property? And that's going to be your affidavit of a fixture. So let me write this here. Which is when you guys hear the term, hey, any buyer's gonna ask you guys, is the mobile home affixed? So when the mobile home gets affixed, it's gonna have an affidavit of a fixture. So let's say I have my 6,000 square foot piece of land. I just bought my new mobile home. So right now I have the mobile home and I have a title to the car. So in order for that to become one, I have to file, it's a short document called the affidavit of a fixture, and I file that with the county, and I no longer have a title to my car. And I'm no longer paying personal property taxes and land property taxes. I'm now conjoining that into one. And now I can go get my FHA financing, I can get my VA financing, and I can get my conventional financing. Because if they stayed separate, I could call Eddie or whoever else, and let's say Dan gave us a loan on the property. I could technically, if I had my title in hand, I could call Eddie, who had a semi truck, and have him tow away the mobile home. But if my mobile home is affixed to the land, then I cannot do that. And I have a loan secured against the property. Any questions on that process? Or Eddie, I'm sure you've been through it.
If it's been moved,
Yes.
is there a certain amount of times that it can be moved before it can't be affixed anymore? Say the house is moved from one property and they want to do a third move for
Yeah.
whatever reason, or it had been moved twice.
So
Anything.
when you move it, you cannot get further financing on it. Because when the manufacturer initially takes it to the land, they stamp on it like, hey, we moved it, we did it all correctly, and we're good for that. Whereas opposed to if you and a couple other buddies went, towed it, jerry-rigged it, and moved it, and then said, hey, lender, can you give us, money on this? Like, how do they know that you didn't swap it with another mobile home on the way? Like, there's too many intricacies that could happen, along the process, as opposed to the manufacturer bringing it and putting it on the land and essentially giving it that stamp and certification. Because any liability can fall back on them. What were you going to say?
Yeah, so expanding on that, what if you is it possible to call the manufacturer to say, hey, can you move this over here?
You could,
And
yeah.
then it'll still be good.
If it's done through a certified party of through the manufacturer. I've never moved a mobile home like that. So what I specialize in is wholesaling the mobile homes and flipping the current mobile homes, which is on the secondary market, already used. Going and getting a new mobile home and bringing those is a totally different process. So what I'm breaking down for you guys is something that you can vertically integrate into your current business. So what I love about these is that I'm still wholesaling single family homes, flipping single family homes. Like, this does nothing different for my business. All this is another list. It goes into my same texting platform, my same calling platform. Nothing about the process is different whatsoever. So that's why you guys could leave here, get a new list, and literally start doing it tomorrow. And I'll break down more on why, these are the best wholesale deals. And you have a question?
So when we're looking for these deals, I guess you're saying we want to see the trailer, mobile home, and the land.
As one, yes, which is affixed. So any buyers you work with, if you contract a deal, send it out, yada, yada, your buyers are going to ask, hey, is this affixed? And your affidavit of a fixture is going to be located somewhere on the title commitment, somewhere under Schedule B, or possibly under that. Sometimes it's we're in a weird location, but there'll be a link on the title commitment. It'll say, hey, please verify mobile home that is affixed is, this VIN number, yada, yada. And that'll be on the title commitment. And then if you guys use Monsoon or whatever other thing, you can see certain images, mobile home, perm affixed, it'll say. on there. And then, like if you see 1980, mobile home permafixed, the affidavit of a fixture shows 1980, Zillow's 1980, like you're good. You have a clean affixed mobile. But if the mobile home shows 1971 on Monsoon, 1978 on Zillow, the affidavit of a fixture has something else, it's like, all right, I got to verify what's on here. Any other questions on the affixture process? So that's the affixture process. And like I said, what I'm presenting and what I'm going over is mobile homes that I'm purchasing that are on the secondary market. So the secondary market, meaning that these are not brand new mobile homes. So to quickly go over what you have to do to get a brand new mobile home, that's done through a dealer. So you'll have to buy a piece of land, you'll reach out to a local dealer, and then you'll go into escrow with like a local dealer. So it's, hey, Mr. Dealer, I want this Cavco mobile home. It's $100K. Here's a $20K deposit, and then you're essentially in queue for the mobile home to get moved and delivered to that piece of land. But unless you got the land for like a super good deal, there's not that much equity to capture. So as opposed to, once again, nothing is different about these mobile home deals. Nothing is different about going through the wholesales. There's probates, there's absentee owners, there's foreclosures. Nothing is different about it. So as opposed to going the dealer route, doing new mobile homes, it's a totally different process. And in my opinion, where's the deal? Where's the problems? You know what I mean? So that's why I like going to secondary market, because I can capture equity on the deals. And capturing equity, I mean, is buying it 60 cents on the dollar or less. That's what I mean by that terminology. So I want to give you guys some writing here. Eddie, you think you could be my writer?
He's got better handwriting than
Does he?
I don't know about that.
This will help me speed up the process. Can you write the wholesale avatar? Those three things. What's a wholesale avatar?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing, and some of you guys are doing sub 2, yada yada. I like sub 2, but if you're trying to get equity and get really big deals, sub 2 is you're going to be somewhat capped on it, in my opinion. But what I kind of want to go over is what is the wholesale avatar is what I call it. So those are the people that I'm talking to in my business today, and who are those types of people that I want to be talking to 24/7. And Tyler's writing my points here for me.
So if you're a buyer and you're fix and flipping and all that right now, who here is actively fix and flipping? 1, 2. Who here has done a fix and flip themselves? So 3. Who wants to get into the fix and flip realm? Right. Okay. Cool. So this is what he's talking about in regards to who do you need to connect with so that you can get good solid deals, so that when you are, like, for example, obviously they have a great opportunity for you guys to buy a whole mobile homes and stuff. But who are you going to connect with? Especially because you know how where it says on the far left, it says what does it cost to attend? What's number 1? Networking, right? And there's a lot of wholesalers in here, or people trying to wholesale to get the first deal. So this is where he's going to break down so that you know exactly what you're supposed to ask for. Because who here would say, I'm okay with a 1946 mobile home? Raise your hand.
You don't want to be.
No, right? Now imagine if you don't know anything about real estate, you're like, I saw Danny on YouTube once, and he said buy mobile home. But this is a 1942, I'm going to buy it because it's $3,000. Right? You need to know exactly what you should look out for. Some of the things when we first bought our mobile home, our first manufactured house, we didn't know any of it. We were lucky that we had someone out there that knew what they were doing. So he's about to break something down that you should really take notes, because I'm about to take notes too.
Yes.
Before you get there, you said sub 2 mobile home is not a good idea.
No, you can do it. I'm saying
Equity.
you can't capture equity. You can't get a super discounted deal. And, you know, at the end of the day, like wholesaling in general, and I'm talking true wholesale, I'm not talking creative finance, sub 2, whatever. I'm talking true buying it at a discounted price, whether you take title or whether you assign it. The only way you're going to get a deep, deep deal is when a homeowner has high equity. So that's going to be they bought it 2015 or newer. So we don't even upload leads into our system that bought from 2018 on, or 2019, give or take. There was some COVID appreciation, but it's still not enough to get a super discounted deal. And then what I was going to say, so this is, and like what Eddie was saying, where can I get deals? This is for direct to seller. And for you guys that don't know direct to seller, that's going straight to the homeowner. So there's really only 3 ways to get deals. You're going to go direct to the seller, which is where you get the best deal, capture the most equity. Number 2 is going to be you work with an agent. The agent works with the homeowner, and you go through the agent. Or number 3 is going to be through a wholesaler. So we assign deals to other buyers. Obviously, Eddie and Tyler do. So those are 3 ways to obviously get deals. And then you have attorneys, maybe an escrow agent, but that's more different. The 3 main sources are direct to seller, through a real estate agent, or which is MLS and all the other stuff, which I hate. I just fucking hate realtors. And number 3 is through other wholesalers. Yep, through other wholesalers. So to break down direct to seller real quick, I want to find someone that has high equity, bought it in 2015 or newer. I want to work with probate deals. I want to work with, number 2, absentee owners. So that's someone who doesn't live in the property. Question?
You mean 2015 and older?
2015 and older, yes. That's when I want to see the last sale price.
What's the limit on the age? Like,
The age of the mobile?
is 72?
76. 70, I'm going to get into my underwriting parameters, but 76 is when you want it. But just because a mobile is built prior to 1976 doesn't mean you can't contract it and wholesale it. I mean, I've still flipped prior to 1976 mobiles, but the discount has to be a lot more.
Right, because those don't qualify for any.
They don't qualify for FHA financing. So they're only worth like 130, 100 to 150 on MLS. But if you get a double wide pre-76 in livable condition for $50K, that's still a damn good deal, you know? So I will get into my exact underwriting criteria so you guys don't get in too much trouble when you purchase it. But number 3 is 400K and under. So the wholesale avatar, and this is a wholesale avatar whether it's single family or anything. In any market, my tried and true beliefs is wholesaling is done at the medium price point and below. You can do Scottsdale houses, you can do whatever, but for the majority of your wholesale deals, you're going to be at the medium price point and lower. So I'm going after high equity, I'm going after absentee owners where they don't live in it, and I'm going after median price point and under. That's wholesaling in general. So set mobile homes aside, let's just talk about just wholesaling. That is a wholesale seller. That's the avatar that you have to target. Now, to bring it back to mobile homes inherently hit every single one of these criteria. Inherently hit it. Every single mobile home is 400K and under. Most are hopefully absentee owner. And a ton of them are going to have high equity because the purchase prices were so low, especially 2020 and prior. So there's so much freaking equity in Arizona from a mobile home that was bought in 2019 in Mesa, AJ, whatever. So when I'm out wholesale and direct to seller, this is the avatar I want to find, and a mobile home asset class already has the avatar that I want. So why wouldn't I target what I'm already trying to do? Question you had?
Yeah, so the 400K and under, is that
That's like,
after repair value?
yes, ARV and under. So even when I do single families, condos, like I don't contract anything 400K and above because you just need, if it's a Scottsdale house and the ARV is 700, I need to buy it at 400 or something. And what Scottsdale homeowner is going to sell at 400? Now, getting a mobile home that's worth 200 and getting it for 70 to 100 grand is something that's possible. And then to essentially tie all this back together, can you write out these points, which is why mobile homes? So I just wanted to go over, this is direct to seller, finding the wholesale avatar, and then I'm going to tie it back together here, which is, these are the main points of why I'm targeting mobile homes. Which my,
Look, if you find a mobile home, you see how tight they are, as tight as Tyler's jeans, don't buy it.
yeah, look, he's got his,
Look at that thing.
look at that badonk.
That's expensive.
He got a BBL or something.
He just got back from Miami too.
His lips look bigger too.
Yeah, his lips look pretty good too.
Any questions while he's writing that?
Not about my
Yeah, not about his ass or his single families, whatever, because I just wanted to go over wholesaling in general, and then now I'm going to tie it back together with the mobile homes. Yes, sir.
So is there any, I guess, like bread and butter, like, you know, the 3-2 for a single family?
Yep.
Anything like that for mobile homes?
So
What's the demographics that-
let me write this while you're doing this too, Tyler.
So what he's going over at the very beginning, guys, is just the foundation, the principles of like mobile homes, right? Now he's going to get to the point where you guys are going to want the meat and potatoes. We're actually learning about how to underwrite a mobile home. What's actually true, like what's a good deal versus a bad deal, right? And did you say you're going to do a deal breakdown too?
Yeah, I'm going to do a deal breakdown.
You're going to do a deal breakdown. What are
No
those
HOA.
right? If you're here for last week's land, you guys, it was hard to kind of capture a lot of what Jeff was saying towards the end until we had like really write
you have
out
my phone?
everything when it came down to like what land really is all about.
No
Right?
HOA.
Same thing with mobile homes,
No HOA.
mobile home investing. Okay, single families are pretty cut and dry, right? But for me, I always thought was like, hey, like that mobile home's crappy, this one's good, this one's better land, that one's got shittier land. Why don't we swap them? But clearly, why don't you do that? Right, because it's stamped, right? Did I know that? No, I was like, yeah, pick it up, let's go.
I hope
Let's
this is
get
big
Brandon on
enough.
my simulator.
Fixed.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why this is super important here.
Is your buy box?
That's the underwriting criteria. Yeah. So whoever I was just talking with, this is my underwriting criteria. I put area, nothing there, obviously, because your area is going to be different depending where you go. And the 3 states with the highest mobile home population is Arizona, Texas, and Florida. So, which are big wholesaling states anyway.
You say they're the biggest mobile home population?
They have the most mobile homes. Those 3 states, yeah. And North Carolina.
Yeah, I was going to say North Carolina.
So, and then most people, I feel like everyone's doing Arizona, Texas, Florida, because it's super investor friendly, and the regulators and stuff aren't cocksuckers. So,
Well, we have done it in North Carolina.
Yeah, so our North Carolina deal, our very first manufactured virtual flip was 103 grand on a manufactured.
on owned land,
Owned
manufactured,
land.
We've done 2 then.
Yeah, and Hillsborough for 63,000. That was more like a wholesale hotel situation.
So, if you guys write this down, this is the actual mobile homes that I'll purchase and renovate, which is going to be number 1, own land always. We don't.
Wholesaler, raise your hand. Here is a buyer. Right here. I'm
Yes.
telling you right now, this is exactly like what Brooke and I, this is what we go ask people like Danny that's buying these properties. So get the details, because if you ever run into something, guess who you're going to call?
You can call me.
No, me first.
So always own land, no HOA. We don't want to deal with the communities or anything. 1976 or newer. So why is 1976 or newer? So at some point, I don't know when the year was, but all mobile homes, 1976 and prior, there was a massive electrical recall. A lot of them were like burning down and shit. So HUD or whoever the regulator was came out and said, hey, we're no longer offering Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac financing on 1976 mobiles and prior because of how they're all messed up with the electrical. So that's why I stay away from actually buying 1976 or prior. But like I was telling you, Brandon, you can still wholesale a deal. You could still buy it. You know, a deal is a deal at some type of numbers, you know. So I've bought those and like wholetailed them. So where I just buy and relist them. But I've never actually fixed one up. But the sellers think they're worthless anyway, so you can get a way better smoking deal. And then a fixed, which I went over prior, the affidavit of a fixture process, we're always going to want to make sure that it's a fixed. Because when we go and sell it on the back end to a retail buyer, we're going to need that affidavit of a fixture so that retail buyer can get the FHA, the VA, and the conventional financing. Without this, your whole deal is going to be fucked. So you always need that. Yes?
So you wouldn't acquire any type of mobile home that's on land where you have to pay rent, like leased land, right?
No.
You get that, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
We don't.
I run across those like for pennies on the dollar, you know, but I haven't pulled the trigger because I know nothing about, you know, mobile homes. So I was like, oh, I wonder why you sell it for like $10,000-$12,000.
Yeah.
You're trying to sell me on it. Like,
Yeah,
there's a reason you're trying to sell me on it.
Correct, yeah.
I was like talking to Florida. Beautiful view of Cape Canaveral.
So, and then you can probably wholesale that after a bunch of legwork for 12 to 15 grand.
Yeah, and you can't find the title, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I
So
don't want to deal with that.
no. So you want to, unless someone's perfected the craft of it, but like, I don't know. Like I said, I've always been a wholesaler, a real estate investor. So why not stay on the actual real property side? That's why, because none of this changes my business model whatsoever. Like I said, all I am doing is going on ListSource, batch leads, whatever you guys use to pull your list, and I am literally just clicking a button, okay, instead of SFR type, I'm going to click mobile home type. And I'm going to put my minimum lot square footage of 4,000 on every single list I pull. Because if my minimum lot square footage is 4,000, it takes away all the leased land. Because all leased land is on a micro lot, 1,000 to 3,000 square feet. So if I put that minimum criteria there, now I get all the owned mobile homes. So I'll go no HOA, and then I'll put that minimum lot square footage of 4,000 every time I pull a list. So that'll X out all the BS.
Wholesalers, what criteria are you going to pull to find mobile homes?
1976, 4,000 square feet,
Lot minimum.
Minimum. Right.
Minimum.
yeah.
So no HOA.
But
No HOA,
So
I still pull,
Yeah.
I would pull all the years. Don't worry about the year build. I'm saying for your own precaution, if you're buying and taking legal title, I wouldn't do that with a mobile home prior to 1976.
Or if you do, it's got to be a smoking deal.
Or if it's a smoking deal. But like we sell them all the time. We work with like a lot of people in the Hispanic community, and they buy these things all the time. And then they get financing through like 21st Century Mortgage. So there is a market for someone to buy those mobile homes, but you just don't want to do it, if you know what I mean. Yes.
Is it too costly just to redo all the electric?
Well, it's just, it's costly, yeah, and the mobile home's only worth so much. So you don't want to over renovate a mobile home that's only worth so much. You'll never sell it for more than, on a wholesale side, 150K, ever. So there's no point in putting 50 to 60 grand into it.
and then Freddie and Fed, and aren't gonna,
And they're not going to finance it, yeah. So it's going to be harder to get that end buyer.
yeah, I just did, I helped somebody, flip a mobile home on lease land.
I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
That was hell.
Yeah. And then when it's leased land and you're trying to flip it, you're going through the HOAs,
Yeah.
and then you're dealing with the Karens, and you're dealing with the realtors, and all the people we don't like.
And the thing was the hardest is because they couldn't qualify, they have to
Yep.
find, a lender, and then the lender is just
Awful.
horrible. It's like, they make you jump through so many hoops because it's a chattel loan,
Yep. Yeah, it's a car. You're getting a car,
Getting a car.
a loan on a car. We don't want to flip cars.
So before you continue here, so the other day I went on a seller appointment, right? A gentleman brought me a lead. I went to go look at a single family house, and then the lady goes, I want to sell my property, cash out 120K of my equity, and go buy land. Or sorry, go buy a mobile home and live in it debt free. So I text him, and I'm like, hey dude, you got any mobile home for manufacturers for less than 100 grand? He goes, with land? And he goes, yeah, good luck, right? And so then I spoke to her, and she goes, hey, I'm interested in I'm okay leasing the land, I just want to pay off that manufactured mobile home, right? So then the funny thing is that same night I had another guy goes, hey, I have a mobile home manufacturer that's for sale with the leased land. I call her up and I'm like, hey, I found a spot for you, right? And the thing she goes is, I got denied for my other application for the leased land, but I can afford to pay off the mortgage, but I didn't qualify for the leased land.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
there's an
Because you
application.
have, like he just said, the HOA, the Karens, the Carols, or whatever you call them, and then the
worst
Kevins,
people.
right? That's what it is, Kevin and Karen?
Karen's, Eddie's or something like that.
Yeah, Eddie. But that gives you a prime example why leased versus owned land, right?
And then I put a couple sub things too. So these are things, AOF, affidavit of a fixture. I just want to write that down too. Number 2 is septic inspection. So in Arizona, a lot of things in Mesa and other parts are going to need a septic tank inspection, which is instead of going through the city sewer, there's a tank on the property and that needs to be inspected. That's where your waste will go and essentially decay. So it's definitely a dirty job for someone to go and inspect it. So account for about, it's going to be $700 to $1,000 to get the septic inspection. But if it's messed up, it can cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 in repairs for a septic inspection, for a septic replacement. Yeah, sorry. And then engineer certification is going to be, some lenders want it. Essentially what it is, it's called a tie down process. So an engineer goes under the mobile homes and those little stilts that it's on, they'll further secure it, further tie it down. So it just gives the lender more security, showing that, hey, we have an affidavit of a fixture, no title, it's one with the land, and we have an engineer certification. So my mobile home, my investment from a lender's perspective, that thing is going there and that thing is staying there and it's not moving. So write all these down.
And this
Go
is
ahead.
This is what you look out for if you're going to fix and flip these mobile homes.
Fix and flip, but I also, if I'm selling it to a buyer, I want to give the buyer the perfect package too. You know, I'm not the shitty wholesaler that says, hey, here's half the address and nothing about it. You know, hey, buyer, it's on owned land, no HOA, here's the septic inspection, here's the affidavit of a fixture, here's everything that you need to make an informed decision. And that's the same thing I'm going to ask for, or any buyer is going to ask for when you present a mobile home deal. Question?
When you buy these properties, the land that the mobile home is on, is that typically zoned specifically for mobile homes, or is it just residential?
It's going to be like a R6 residential, 6,000 square feet, but it's going to normally be around other mobile homes. So you'll be in like a mobile home neighborhood of it. So
Do you find situations where the land is actually more valuable than the mobile home itself?
yes, all the time. Yep. So I'll actually get pre-76 or newer mobile homes as infill lots and then sell it to the builders. So the builders don't even, they're like, oh, shitty mobile home, but great, perfect lot in a transitional neighborhood. Because what's happening in East Mesa and a couple other parts, you'll see like mobile, single family, mobile, single family. So these cities do not like the mobile homes. So all these shitty pre-76 mobile homes, they're all shit. And the builders love purchasing them. So I'm already, once again, nothing's changing in my business. I'm doing the same thing, going through my leads, and I get these ones and I sell them as infill lots. And I made 6 figures on some, but normally about 20, 40, 50. We recently bought a package and Dan was calling that lead too. And making over 6 figures on that 3 package deal. So, and then 2 of them are, like I said, regular infill lots. And then one of them's a pretty good mobile. But there's a lot of evictions and title messes. So you love that, don't you?
What's your opinion on rural? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Someone raise their hand. Go ahead.
So like on a deal like that, where you're gonna just sell the land, are you just looking at land value and offering a cash offer of the land value, or just?
If I have a single wide piece of shit, 76 or prior, then I'm looking at just land value. If it's a livable double wide prior to 76, the double wide still has some value. But for the most part, if it's a really messed up double wide or a really messed up single wide, it's probably going to have it's going to be just land value at that point.
You pay a disposal fee or somebody to get it out of there, or that's whoever buys it?
Whoever buys it, yeah. And they usually don't even care, so. You had a question?
How rural would you go? Because the mobiles seem to get out there in the sticks.
Yeah, I don't, so I am mostly Maricopa and Pinal County. And then, there's really only, like you have Maricopa, Pinal, Bullhead City, Lake Havasu, Flag, Payson's a decent market, Tucson. So there's really only a couple actual metros in Arizona. And then you have sub-metros. So I look at that as like any others, like you have Dallas, Fort Worth, you have Houston, Austin, like those are the main, that's like Maricopa counties. And then you have a couple other Paysons, Lake Havasu's, like there's shit going on, enough to get a decent deal and sell it. But like Gila Bend, Ajo, all these other things, like you're good luck selling it. So, yes. Yuma's a good one. Yep, I've done deals in Yuma. That's a good, 100K population plus military bases. Anywhere where I see there's a Home Depot and a Lowe's, I know it's a decent market. Because there's lumber, there's building going on, there's shits going on. It's not just, a complete ghost town. What is it? Yep. Tucson's a good market. They have good mobiles there. So population's 50K or more usually. So just not too rural. Yes?
And for the engineer cert, are they also going to take into account any modifications? Trailers or?
Like additions or not? So the engineer certification's going down and under. So mostly they're not really making modifications under the mobiles on those stilts. They're more like adding an addition to the side or the back or something like that. Engineer certification is done under the mobile home.
Gotcha. So some of the cities like Peoria, they're demoing some of those that have modifications to the original
Yep.
structure. So how do you deal with underwriting on those?
So if I will go off, the affidavit of a fixture is going to tell you your exact square footage. So I'll go off the affidavit of a fixture. Let's say the affidavit of a fixture says 1,200 and they're telling me it's 1,600, but I'm not going to account for your unpermitted addition. So I'll run my numbers based off of what the affidavit of a fixture says. Just because you and your cousin put on 400 square feet doesn't mean it's going to help me when a retail buyer purchases it and gets an appraisal.
Is there any opportunity, sorry my voice,
Oh, you're good?
the stuff that's going to be demoed from the city, where you come in and you buy something, sell it directly and then?
Like moving a mobile home from a park or some shit?
No, like a lot of like Peoria where you have that video where you went to that one house, you're demoing a lot of those properties in there.
Yeah.
The city just comes in and says it's uninhabitable or whatever. So,
Well, if the city's determining it uninhabitable, then I highly doubt that we're going to want to buy it. And like I was telling the other gentleman, at that point, you're probably more just looking at land value. So the mobile itself, they're probably getting rid of it because it's worthless. So therefore, if the city's looking at it like that and me, the investor's looking at it like that, there's probably no opportunity, if I had to guess.
How often do you run into mobile homes that have that addition that's not permitted, or just in general?
Pretty often,
Really?
yeah. People are always, like, I've done shit on my house that is not supposed to be done. It's pretty normal. But you just don't account for it in your underwriting criteria. And that has to be conveyed to the seller and let them know that, hey, this is not a part of, unless it was done through the city, done above board, and they got the right things to add to the square footage, which whoever actually does that. Right, exactly, yeah.
Well, that would be added to the affidavit though, right? Or will
It would not, no. The affidavit,
verify that it's been done?
yep. And then you'll only have your single wide and double wide. And on the affidavit of a fixture, a double wide is going to have 2 VIN numbers. So you'll always see 2 like line items, and you'll have 2 VIN numbers for a double wide.
Who here knows what a single wide, a double wide, and the difference between a single wide, double wide, and a mobile home? Who doesn't know it? Raise your hand.
There is a such thing. Those are the ballers. So
There's like-
the difference between a double wide, a single wide, and a mobile home, well, they're all mobile homes. So a single wide versus a double wide is essentially going to be one piece from the manufacturer, and that they're going to have one title to that. So you'll see it whenever you see it on the semi trucks, and you see half a mobile, it's all open. There's another half to that, and they're going to conjoin it into a double wide. But as it stands, if it is a single wide, it's essentially it's a smaller mobile home, 900 square feet or less. Any mobile home that is about 1,000 square feet or more, it's 9 times out of 10 going to be a double wide because it's just 2 mobile homes. And then once you do your affidavit of a fixture process, you take your 2 titles, because you have a double wide, and affix it to the land. Why I wanted to go over this real quick with you guys. So I kind of went into the wholesale avatar, underwriting criteria, and then why. These are my main points of why I actually target these and why I think everyone should, is the affordability. So once again, the wholesale avatar is $400K and under. Every single mobile home in Arizona, just about, maybe far and few in between, is going to be $400K ARV and below. So number one, I'm at the affordability price point. I've never lost demand throughout the past 4 years selling mobile homes. They still, to this day, sell in 30 days or less.
Is that including the land?
That's included, you're saying?
400?
Correct, yes. Mobile home and land as one, affixed. Always 400 and below. Number two is less competition. A lot of people here don't know about them. Other investors don't know about them. iBuyers, Zillow, OfferPad, all the Wall Street companies, they do not buy mobile homes. So that absolutely washes out so much of the competition. I'm sure you guys are banging your head against the wall when they say, I got an offer from OfferPad or Zillow. It's like, just throw that lead in the trash because you're not competing with them. So that's why I love them. A lot of people aren't hitting them. A lot of people just don't know that much about them. Number three is hard to value because, once again, we have a couple more steps to the underwriting process. So it's not rocket science. You just have to account for a couple more things in your due diligence process. So if I can check my parameters and know what I'm buying, then I can more easily evaluate the property. But when people don't know about the affixture, the septic inspection, the year build, then they're going to be harder to value. Or you could have unrealistic expectations. Comparing the difference between a pre-76 double wide and a post-76 double wide is a massive difference. And when something's harder to value, then there's an opportunity to get a better discount. Number four is going to be more distress. So mobile homes, a good amount of them, lower income areas, there's more distress, more crime, absentee owners, you have a bunch of bullshit going on. Dan, you door knock the neighborhoods, right? So you see all the crap that goes on. Yep.
Stinks and bad smells, bad people, and good deals.
Yep. Exactly. So you always have more distress there. So a deal I'm doing right now, bought for a probate deal, currently evicting the occupants. We go to eviction court, and the tenants in there are filing quitclaim deeds from the old owners to themselves, now claiming ownership. So now I'm going from an eviction suit, and I have to pivot to essentially proving that I own the home now. So they're professional scammers is what I call them. But once again, these are the types of issues you might lie in: junky tenants, problems, drugs, crime, a whole bunch of issues. So at the end of the day, as much as I hate problem occupants, it's why wholesale deals exist. That's just the reality. Number 5 is going to be low risk. You're not buying a Scottsdale house, 800K, 200K renovation. Average purchase price is landing around 150 for double wides, 150 to 170, putting in 40 to 50K worth of work, selling at 275 to 300. So your barrier to entry is a lot smaller. It's a lot easier to get into the deal. I don't have to call Tyler and say, hey, we need to come up with 150 grand for just the renovation, and that's not including the down payment. So if you're a newer investor with the right underwriting criteria, because you're now educated after this, you can go and get a low risk deal pretty easily.
I got a question. What's your average profit for a single family wholesale versus a mobile home wholesale?
I know my average profit year to date per deal is about 21,000. That's all of them combined. But the spreads that I see on the mobile homes are always a lot bigger. 30 plus usually on every mobile home, like clockwork. Infill lots, infill lots, you can get them super cheap. People in Mesa want them for 50 grand, sell them for 100 all day.
Infill lots?
So an infill lot, like if you have a tear down mobile on there or a mobile pre-76 occupied by junkies, you know, that person wants nothing to do with that property. So you can scoop that up super easily, all throughout the valley too. So,
What'd you call it? I'm sorry.
a junkie? Oh. What? Infill lots, yeah. So your infill lot is just your regular 6 to 8,000 square foot lot that your single family home is going to be on, your mobile home. That's all it is. And then mobile home on acres are a different story. Those are worth a lot more. Yes.
So I guess, my brain is saying, if you're underwriting it, you still go through, is the roof good, HVAC good, electrical good? Is there any deal breaker? I'm assuming the frame is still in good shape.
Subfloor, foundational. You want to make sure it's leveled, because then if it's not leveled, engineer needs to come under, jack it up, put a new stilt. So once again, like high ticket items, they're no different. Roof, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, make sure there's no plumbing issues, and foundation. So your 5 high ticket items, single family, are the same 5 high ticket items on mobiles, adding septic, engineer cert, and those things.
So,
Do you need inspection before you purchase it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, when I'm under contract, I'm doing those.
What's that?
When I'm under contract, I'm doing those. Do I get a formal inspector, or
Yeah, in the beginning, like to see if it's a good deal or not.
it's just this is the formal inspector? Yeah. Well, I buy them without even seeing them, so I don't really ever walk them.
Just because you know how much work they're going to take. And
Yeah. And then it's for time intensive purposes. I want to get the deal right away.
so by the way, he didn't mention this to you guys yet, but this guy has 16 fix and flips going on right now.
Yeah.
Do you think he knows a little bit about buying unsight scene?
Maybe.
Right? So who here would buy unsight scene?
And 5 of those flips are all bought all occupied with renters that need to be evicted and purchased sight unseen.
we just did that.
Yeah, we just did
Yeah.
too. But again, guys, don't buy unsight scene if you don't have any experience in contracting work or if you don't plan on doing the work yourself.
Yeah.
Okay?
So it's very risky.
Unless it's a smoking deal.
Right. The numbers always need to make sense. Well, we actually sold, you could also get it And once again, wholesale it to a buyer like myself or these guys or whoever's buying. Like I just did a Tucson single family, contracted for 150. Well, at 160, we sold it for 200. We sold it to the buyer, sight unseen, disclosed with problem occupant and everything. So at the end of the day, just contract the deal first, and then you can figure everything else out.
So,
That's my MO.
So the biggest takeaway of this night so far is that people invest in Tucson.
Yep.
Yes, Cruz, I'm looking at you, bro.
But
Jesse, that guy.
that's just about all of my bullet points. That's my underwriting criteria. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is that nothing changes for me. My process isn't different. It's not a new script. It's not a new calling. It's not a new platform. All it is just, okay, when this pops up, I just got to put my my underwriting cap on and be like, okay, mobile home, checkbox, and I know what I'm doing. So it's nothing different has to change whatsoever. You could start making money tomorrow. You can get a list tomorrow. So that's what I love about it. I'm not up here presenting to, about 100 plus units or something crazy like that. Like everybody in here should be going after this, and everybody in here has the bandwidth to do it. Whether you're solo, have a team, whatsoever, it's literally already doing exactly what you're doing. Yes.
Standard contract, lingo.
Yep.
Nothing special there, 14-day close, 30-day close, whatever.
Yep.
Terms and conditions, normal.
Everything the same, yeah. Open up with the same title company, get the title commitment, assign it, all the same, because it's real property. We're not dealing with cars, that has turned into real property on real land. Affixed, yep. And then if it's not affixed, well, we're still contracting 123 Main Street, which is an infill lot. That's real property. Yes.
I'm looking at
Thank you. What applications do you recommend to consult or to use as a reference? To me, it's different. Am I going to get Zillow, you said, or that?
Yeah.
What application? What are you looking for?
So what systems do I use?
Systems or references, or what do you look for deals?
So I am always, one, I'm going direct to seller because I want to capture the most equity. I want to get the best deals. And then when I'm talking with the homeowners, I'm using Zillow, I'm using MLS, I'm using Monsoon, which is a tax record application, because I want to make sure that I'm hitting when I look at Monsoon, I want to see the last sale date. I want to see what they bought it for. I want to make sure that they're the avatar that I want. If I'm talking to them and they just bought it 2 years ago for $200 and they owe $260, there's no deal to be made whatsoever. No matter how much they love me, no matter how much they like me, unless it's a crazy good sub-2 deal, but there's no big deal for me to take down. So there's no $30K assignment fee. There's none of it.
What about that sub-2 deal you just got?
That sub-2 deal, yeah. So you can do,
Did everyone get a picture of this?
yes, everyone, you can come up and take a picture, maybe if you want to take a minute.
Well, have Tim just send it out to everyone individually.
Joe, you want to get the board?
Just to confirm, you said when you search, you put 4,000 square feet minimum in to remove all the unaffixed lots?
Correct. Well, not the unaffixed lots, the leased land. Because when you're in a trailer park, you're going to be like this next to your neighbor. So I want to cut that out because I'll be on a small micro lot in a trailer park on leased land. On owned land, think about your regular single family homes. There's space in between. So yeah, you don't want to target those.
So hard money lenders.
Hard money lenders.
Same thing, 1976 and above.
Well, some lenders will lend 76 or prior. So I lend my own money on deals for mobile homes too. And the first thing I do is make sure the same thing I do when I buy it is the same way I do when I lend on it. So I'll make sure that everything checks my boxes.
So you guys heard that. If you're looking for a sugar daddy Danny, he's right here.
Yeah. So I can finance them too, and happy to do that.
Do you ever hold these for yourself?
I don't hold them long term now, because
Problem. Challenge.
yeah, Well, you have bad tenant quality. The long term, they depreciate faster, and the wear and tear is a lot faster.
So you're getting rid of them pretty quick.
Right. I make fast cash with mobiles, and then I deploy them into good, sturdy assets. Or I take the cash from my mobile homes, and I go and lend it out at a 14 to 20% return. So I'm getting quick funds and then finding a different investment to deploy the cash into. Yes.
So on a, let's say you have a mobile home on our own land, but it does not have an affidavit of fixture. Is there still a play there? Maybe like if you're looking for like an infill or maybe offer a lower amount on the mobile home and to pay for an affidavit of fixture, or is there like some workaround where you still could make a deal out of it?
If there's no affidavit of a fixture, well, then you want to ask them if they have the title in hand, the title to the mobile. Because if they have the title, then maybe they just never went and affixed the actual mobile. Then you can do it. But 9 times out of 10, they don't have that. So you have to have them go to the DMV and apply for a duplicate title. And then if you're dealing with a probate lead, you're going to have them take their PR documents and say, hey, I'm the rightful personal representative to Tyler's estate. I need a duplicate title to Tyler's mobile home that he bought 30 years ago, which is probably going to happen to you at some point. But like third-party DMV places can do an affidavit of a fixture. They're super cheap, a couple $100. So it's not too gruesome. Any other questions? I'm going to do a quick case study. Any other questions about really anything whatsoever, mobile homes or anything that I spoke about?
Is there any like bad situations you were in if you were flipping these homes? Like let's say since it's high crime rate, like are people breaking in? You're in the it's vacant.
Yeah, we've had break-ins. Probably the one I'm dealing with right now is the worst that I've ever dealt with. So I bought 3 sight unseen occupied mobile homes. The one of them is trying to scam it and throw in quit claim deeds, so they're clouding the title of the property so I can't sell it. So now I have to do a quiet title, which is like a bonded title for a mobile. I have to do a quiet title now and prove why their claims are fake. And I can't evict them still because now there's an ownership issue. So now I'm going through a lawsuit with that. And the other mobile that I did I didn't get disclosed that there was a 2-year lease option till 2026. And so now I'm having a hard time getting that guy out. And I'll probably have to sell off the mobile homes, pay my hard money lender off and sit on a mobile that's worthless for the next 2.5 years. So that's the risk of it.
What's the process of like just doing like the eviction? Like starting, like you buy a property or if you have like tenants in them, do you start the eviction right there and then pass it on to the buyer, or?
I will always, if I'm wholesaling it, I'll always try to do like a courtesy, have the seller deliver the notice. So when I wholesale a property to someone, I'm saying, hey, you have to evict the tenant. The notice is already served, so I'm helping further expedite their process. Or if I'm the buyer, I'm telling the seller to serve that notice ASAP. So then I'll get a copy of that served notice for my files. After that 30 days, get the attorney. They'll do other 5-day notice, and hopefully it'll be out pretty soon.
And there's no problem with that transferring on to the next buyer?
No.
As long as it's served
Properly, yeah. Certified mail, or like taped to the door with a picture. Hand delivered. Certified mail works fine.
I'm doing that
So,
tomorrow.
yeah, we use Whole Haul and Holiday in Arizona. So they're like, them and like Zona Law Group are the top 2 eviction attorneys. So if you're local here, you could reach out to them. And
What was that first one?
Whole Haul and Holiday and Zona Law Group should cost you anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. So once again, just factor it into the deal, get a deeper deal, and just have it pre-accounted for. And make sure there's no fucking lease options on the property. But yeah, that's to answer your question. That's a massive problem that I'm in right now. So, but shit happens. So, any other Mobile home questions, yes?
I don't know if you said already, and if so, then I didn't get it. But you were talking about if it was a fixed or not, and like how it's treated as real property. At what point is it not treated like property? It's closer to being treated like a car. Like, what are those differences?
When you don't have, when it's not a fix and you only have the title. So if you're on lease, if you don't own your land, you're not gonna be able to fix it because you don't own the land. So you're gonna have a car title. And it's going to look exactly like your regular, Audi, Toyota, exact same car title.
Okay, so that's what I experienced, and then I was like, wait, real property. I swear it looks close.
Yes. That's why if the lot itself is 4,000 or under, and you look on Monsoon, Zillow, wherever, you can just start to see, all right, this is not what I want to purchase because their lot size is that big. Right.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other broad, general questions? Wholesaling, anything whatsoever? Yes?
Just a quick summary of how you might comp the various ones, because you said they're hard to value.
Well, if they check my underwriting criteria, let's say it's a 1980, same thing as single family, it's a 1980 double wide, it's a fixed, it's in fair condition, I'm going to compare that to other double wide, 1980, 1,200 square feet, the same criteria you'd use for single family, use it for the mobile homes. And then if it's pre-76, I'm going to compare it to pre-76 double wides, pre-76 single wides, which is essentially just the square footage.
So is it hard to do with the land and the mobile home to get the total value?
Well, no, I'm basing everything that you'll see on the sales, MLS, and whatever is already mobile and land as one because they're all fixed. There is no like, hey, here's $50K for the mobile, $100K for the land, and it shows two different values. There's only one value on the list price. So that's what I'm going off of. Someone raise their hand? No? Oh, yes.
Are you only focusing on mobile homes right now? That's it?
No, I do everything. So I do single families, I do land deals, condos, mobile homes. I do lend out my own money. So I do an array of everything residential. And then we did a trailer park, a 36 unit trailer park. We closed in April. We made $250,000 off that one deal, which was a trailer park.
Do you offer transactional lending?
If it's in Arizona, possibly, but not too much.
Are you lending outside of the state for other transactions?
I'm only doing Arizona lending, yeah.
How long have you been in the real estate investing space?
5 years, yes. So, nice while. But I'm still learning stuff every day. I mean, like this shit show I was telling you about. I mean, I've never experienced that before. So, I was dealing with another girl here. Like I'm buying out fractional. I'm doing fractional interest, like share buyouts. I'm doing right now, which is a new thing I'm learning. So I'm always kind of finding, a new strategy, something that I like, and that's more versatile and kind of challenges yourself. So learning and trying new things every day. And honestly, I always like to say this too. Like I have 70% of the time I have no idea what I'm doing on every deal, everything. The share buyouts, the mobile homes, like the sight unseen purchases, like 70% of the time I just figure it out as I go. We just contract the property and I figure out the problem. I swear to God, I don't know what I'm doing most of the time, but I sure as shit look like I do. So.
And then you feel better as a relatively new wholesaler.
Yeah.
That's why I've been feeling like it just take massive action and learn along the way.
Yeah, take massive action, just get the contract signed.
Yeah.
And then you can figure out everything from there.
But this was really helpful. This kind of gave me a whole different perspective on
Yeah.
what I could be focusing on.
For sure, but that's the thing. It's nothing different. You're just going to add your list that you pull or whatever. It's going to say single family. All right, let me get my mobile homes in there. Let me get my condos. Like nothing about it should be different whatsoever. It's just a little bit of a different evaluating process.
But the way you presented it, it almost seems like pursuing mobile homes is way more advantageous than pursuing single families.
Yeah, but
In the
why?
grand scheme of things.
But you do it all.
With the way you presented it, I mean, it does seem more attractive.
Right, and it vertically integrates perfectly into your already thing that you're doing. So you're already calling single family homeowners. There's not going to be anything different about your mobile home deal. Besides that the guy's name is going to be Floyd or something, and you're going to be, holy shit, this is a fucking wholesale deal. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, that goes back to the wholesale avatar and why we want to target them. Because it's just your likelihood of getting a wholesale deal is going to be a lot higher. Yes?
Do you do fire damage ones too as well, or?
Not really.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll wholesale it to Dan so he can take a loss on it. What? Yeah, right? Not too much, no. So, but once again, the numbers have to make sense. If it's fire damage, still livable, someone wants $40K for it, I'm sure you could find a buyer, you know. If they want $190,000 and it's fire damage, of course, it's not going to work. But fire damage just adds more distress. I don't really think of fire damage as like its own asset class. It's kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's its own asset class, just adds more distress and more layers to the problem, in my opinion. Anything? Yeah, we'll go over that sub too. And I know you guys have been sitting for a while, so we'll get this wrapped up.
So who's learning some things tonight about mobile homes?
So purchase price 131. So this is a mobile home in Phoenix that was just bought. So purchase price of 130. We gave the seller $25K down. So this was a conventional loan.
Where'd you find this lead?
This was just like a regular direct-to-seller marketing deal. We took over, let me try to find this darn loan. This was a 4.5% interest rate. Total monthly payments were about $600. So that's principal interest. He's about 4 years into his loan. I feel like the best sub 2 deals are all the 2020, 2021 properties because they don't have a lot of equity and they have the lowest interest rate.
PITI was 6.
PIT about 600. So that's what I took over and then put about 20K in renovations. So all in, entry fee for about 50K, give or take, which is more than I want to be. So, but everything always.
Just price what was left on the mortgage?
So the mortgage balance we took over was, I believe, 105. Yeah. So we took over 105K mortgage. This was a double wide 1981 in Phoenix, and we have it pending to a buyer, which I'll wait for Tyler to.
You did the rehab?
Yes. Yep.
What's that look like, if you don't mind? Like kitchen, bathroom?
Kitchen, it wasn't in god awful shape, so kitchen, new subfloor because the floor is always wobbly, new subfloor, flooring, kitchen, bathrooms. I think we cleaned up the landscaping, did some fencing, so general, very basic stuff. Because
That was 20K.
That was 20K, yep. Because the best thing is like you don't have to go crazy with them. The market you're selling, you're not selling to Scottsdale homeowners that are like, I want the granite countertops. Right, LVP. It's a very basic, it's a basic renovation.
Right. So, I know a lot of you guys didn't do like single family. You guys haven't done fix and flips and stuff of that nature, right? So I just did I did my personal house that I had. 1,500 square foot house I bought back in 2021. Knocked down a wall, take out a fireplace, replace the flooring, baseboards, and put an island. Guess how much I spent? What's up? Oh, no, yeah, right, 60, no, more like 24 grand, okay? He basically did the entire cleanup on that house with subflooring, which is basically another words of like the foundation aspect of a mobile home, right? For 20 grand.
And then retail sell
That's
price
24K, and that's what he did with
170.
The rest of the kitchen, both bathrooms, you know, put another 30 grand into that.
So it's pending right now. So then we then listed it for 170K. We're pending.
Are you wrapping it or
This is
just
what it
selling
looks like, by
out?
the way. So we're wrapping it now. So this is now a wrap to a retail buyer. 170K list price, 20K down at 10%, which comes out to about, I think, around $1,400 a month. So we're capturing, I mean, from the purchase price to what's owed there, I think, what's that, 65K of equity? 105
Purchase price to
from what we owe.
40?
Yeah, 40.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Well,
not good at math, but
39
So-
minus your 20K.
we're capturing equity, and then we're getting about $700 a month in cash flow from the wrap, and then we don't own the asset. We're just a note holder, which is a lot more appealing because what I like about this model with mobile homes, wrapping them, is that you don't get a lot of depreciation or tax write-offs because the purchase prices are so low. And then on top of it, I don't want a tenant in 2 years move out of my mobile home and I have to put another 30K into it. I'd rather wrap it, have them stay there for their 5 to 10 years and get cashed out then. And then I don't deal with calls, I don't deal with tenants, toilets, nothing. I'm simply just a note holder. I'm the bank, yes. Yep.
So worst case scenario is that they miss payments and foreclose on it and take the asset back?
Yep.
You got the, you keep the 20,000.
And keep the 20K down payment, yeah. Yes.
Have you ever considered wrapping like unaffixed mobile homes, putting a tenant in there, like buying it cash, like if you get a smoking deal on it for 30 to 50 grand, basically seller financing it yourself for 75 to 100, putting a tenant in there. Have you ever heard of that or done that before?
Well, once again, the same reason the FHA or the VA lenders want it affixed is for more security.
But
Because
if you're funding on it, if you're seller financing it, they're not getting, they don't need to get the loan from anywhere, and you're just cash flowing on it.
but what's stopping them from hauling that mobile home away?
That's true.
You know?
So, and I've talked to a investor who, this is what he does, and I don't know if this is true or not, but he says that when he evicts people, he doesn't have to get an official eviction because it's considered personal property, so it's the same as repossessing a car now,
Right. Unless he holds the title to the mobile home. And I have evicted someone on leased land before, and it's actually, you have more rights than you do a like they own the mobile, and their mobile is on my land. And then I evicted them, and they actually had more rights, and we had additional hearings I had to go through. That was just my experience. Everyone's different, of course. So, but if that answers your question.
Yeah, I was just curious if you ever thought about it or considered it. Hey, that's it. I stay far away from mobile
Yeah.
homes, but
Well, hopefully this helps bring you near them. So, but yeah, that's a sub 2. What that kind of looks like, and like I said, it's super appealing because I'm not going to get a lot of tax write-offs, and why would I want to deal with a headache tenant for that type of situation? So, but
And that literally doesn't have very much equity at all.
no,
I mean, when you bought it, it didn't really have much.
not too much equity, no. Nope. So,
Deals can still be done.
but.
Sweet. Does anybody have any questions, final questions for Danny before we start wrapping up and get to hang out, network, and get each other's information? No?
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys for having me up. So. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out. So appreciate
All
it.
right, guys. So it's 7:08 right now.